Good afternoon, Luang Por.
Good afternoon, Ajahn Sumedho.
I'm delighted that you agreed to do another Q&A. Feels like a long time since we've done one. So today, I'll start off with one question. It has to do with something you mention every now and again when we talk about situations, usually between people. I've heard you say, it's all just, look at it as all just vipaka kamma. And I found that very useful. So for those who are not Pali scholars, could you maybe describe what vipaka kamma is and then what it is about that helps acceptance and letting go?
Well, vipaka kamma is past karma. Things you remember of your past and habits you've developed from situations, from education, from cultural conditioning, from parental conditioning. And so, but at the present moment, here and now, it's memory. You know, when you examine it, like what you remember even yesterday, or just an hour ago is a memory of the past, even though it might still be affecting you in the present in some emotional way. But when we grasp, you know, when we do things that are bad or sinful or hurtful, then it's bad karma, because we're hurting or damaging or separating or causing other people or situations misery and confusion. And then good karma, good vipaka karma is keeping precepts, being considerate, being, listening to people, and doing good work, saying things in the right way, and the proper speech, right speech. That's good karma. So these forms that we identify with are karmic forms. Like this is the vipaka, this form we call Luang Por Sumedho is the vipaka of my father and mother, of being born, and now I'm old, and it's the vipaka of being born, which is a very obvious thing. So vipaka karma is we experience it even after we have insight, because we still have to live our lifespan in whatever terms the future brings us, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant. And then the vipaka karma arises if you're not mindful of it and understand it as just conditioned phenomena arising and ceasing, then we tend to suffer from guilt or remorse or just revenge, wanting to seek revenge on others who hurt us in the past. And if we're not mindful of the memories of the past as just empty phenomena, then they can affect us through our whole life. So you can carry grudges for a lifetime because of heedlessness. And so sometimes you can justify the grudges. You were treated improperly and abused, and that's not to be despised or denied, but it is in the present, the memory. And I found that very good reflection. The past is a memory. And then a memory, Sanyakanda, is empty. It's not a person, it's not real, it's not, it's vipaka, so it comes and goes. But it has no real essence or core or heart or soul to it whatsoever, unless we grasp it, either trying to get rid of it, deny it, suppress it, or getting caught up in resentment, anger, desire to seek revenge on those who have harmed you in some way.
So remembering it's all vipaka kamma, as you sometimes say, is really just a way of letting it be.
Yes, it's a useful concept. And it's not dismissing anything, it's just giving memory gives us a way of understanding memory as something that is empty rather than real, and something that just arouses old feelings of anger, resentment.
So if I may take an example, sometimes people have experienced trauma in the past, in their childhood or whatever, and then these things resurface throughout the adult life. And what would be a good way of just handling it when the memory comes up and opens the floodgates of emotion, which can be of all kinds, but sometimes just rage. How to skillfully allow that into consciousness and allow it to dissipate and to cease.
Well, like rationalizing, say, that happened 20 years ago, why am I so... But you're still thinking, and it's reasonable. That's using reason and logic. 20 years ago, somebody hit me on the nose unfairly. My best friend did it, and I'm never going to forgive him. And then we carry on with, and then if we're guilty about having such thoughts, we can think, I shouldn't think like that, that's not skillful, it happened a long time ago and I just should forget it, not make any, whatever way you deal with it, either trying to get rid of it or just indulging in angry emotions about the past. It's the witnessing. This is the emphasis of Buddhist teachings. This Buddha is a witness to the way it is, not a judge. It's not about how long have you been a monk and you're still carrying that around? That happened 20 years. Then you're still strongly identifying with the past, with the form of being a bhikkhu, and with an ideal of a bhikkhu doesn't carry grudges, and you should forgive all the people who've harmed you. These are good ideas, but they're also empty.
But when a memory arises, and then these very strong emotions arise following it, that obviously need acknowledging as well, but they can feel overwhelming. Do you have any advice about how to receive that?
Well, that's what witnessing is. It's the way it is. Like feeling angry about what happened 20 years ago is like this. So, the witnessing position, you're putting yourself in the pure conscious awareness. That's here and now. And the memory of being abused in the past is a memory of something that happened a long time ago. And then, like the intellect still, it's about thinking and about ideals. Like if you idolize the monastic form, then, like many of us have done that. We're trying to be perfect monks according to an ideal we have about being bhikkhus. And it's all, it's a good idea, it's noble-hearted, but it's still, vipaka karma is still empty phenomena, where idealism is a creation with words, where you make something very high and perfect. Ideals can be perfect perceptions of perfection, but they're still empty phenomena. So the witness position is what Luang Por Sumedho called my real home. It's consciousness here and now, which isn't a memory. You can't remember being conscious, trying to understand consciousness through words, through concepts, through psychology, through psychiatry, through science, you're trying to figure out what consciousness is when that's what you are in the present. You don't look any further, but wake up and just see, you can actually witness the desire to seek revenge on somebody that hurt your feelings. And not feel guilty about it. It's when you've been abused and hurt in some way, this is the vipaka karma of that experience, and it's a memory that can pursue you through your lifetime if you're not wise, using wisdom and understanding. And that's where conscious awareness, consciousness is pure. It doesn't have it's not about memory. You don't remember being conscious because you are conscious. And a memory of consciousness is a vipaka karma, is an idea you have.
So coming just on that point of like having, for example, experienced abuse, and then the memory brings up anger and rage and maybe desire of revenge, what you're saying is that consciousness allows you to just welcome that as it is without judging the desire for the anger and the rage and the desire for revenge, just letting it be what it is.
It is what it is. And you can, and if you let go of it, not try to suppress it or get involved in the emotional habits. Just let go and relax and be the witness. You can see it doesn't last very long. Or some emotions keep returning, and you're trying to get rid of them. So you think, well, I thought I solved that problem a long time ago, but I'm really angry about what happened to me 40 years ago. And then I can rationalize it and say, it's just an empty phenomena, it's a past, nothing. And that's, like Luang Por Sumedho said, true but not right, right but not true. But if I really, really, really trust in awareness in the present, I can just witness anger that arises from memories of the past is like this. And after a while, even the words just like this are totally unnecessary, because your natural state is pure conscious awareness, which is perfect. It's not good or bad, right or wrong, it's here and now. And it's what your true home is, your real home. And it's learning to trust that. Once you have that insight, through just being the observer of your vipaka karma, or your karma, just being the witness, and that's what Buddha is. It's why they emphasize Bhutto. Luang Por use that kind of mantra. Bhutto as a way of using it as a way of silencing the mind, of just thinking of a two-syllable word, or it actually becomes, you realize Buddha is what witnesses Dhamma, absolute reality. What is absolute reality? If you as a person, as a separate person, even though you might be very pious, intelligent, and right, you're still trying to find Dhamma as something that out there, or that you can define. And that definition, no matter how astute it might be, no matter how scientifically correct or according to Pali scholars, it might be right, but consciousness is here and now, and there's no way of, and even when you're unconscious, consciousness doesn't disappear. It's just the images and the memories and that are no longer operative in your mind. So who dies? You ask yourself, who is it that dies? And then you realize that bodies die, and people die, and death, when some of your relatives, your parents, or your teachers die, then you're aware of the loss. But actually, it was their bodies that died. And what do you really, what in terms of love or that is it you love somebody's body, or you love somebody's intelligent mind, or their emotional purity, or their learning? Or is it love is the very home that we all are in ultimate reality? In conventional reality, we're separate. So Luang Por died in 1992. How long ago was that? And the memory, I photographed the painting of Luang Por in my room, and I like to look at photos of Ajahn Chah, and they bring back memories. But if I just depended on that, just remembering Luang Por that was my abiding place, then it is very impermanent. I can't do it all the time. It's not sustainable, and it tends to be very diluted. But if I remember Ajahn Chah, then it's like this, and then it's gone. It's a memory of a great teacher that I loved and respected. But I'm not hanging on to it. Just like, I became a disciple of his in 1967, and then Wat was very primitive then. It was very undeveloped, muddy roads, crude huts, a cella that wasn't very nice. There wasn't even a proper temple or uposatha hall. And so that's memories. And then now Wat Pah Pong's very famous, beautiful uposatha hall, beautiful cella, high quality kutis, and electricity and this. And then if I'm still hanging on to my first experience, then you get into this old monk's mental state of, when I was a young monk, it wasn't soft like this. And then the subject now in terms of modern Buddhist monasticism have got iPhones, iPads, computers. Are these evil or are they wrong? Because, when I was a young monk, there wasn't even a telephone. So you can be really conceited and think the younger generation, this is what old people do. So, but when you see things as they really are, it's apparent, Dhamma is apparent here and now and timeless. And just ask yourself, apparent here and now, it must be, it's not, what is it? Because this will change, a few minutes we'll pack up and I'll go to a different place, but, so this can't be the Dhamma in terms of the Dhamma. It's the Dhamma, like arising of a particular condition out of consciousness, because these forms emanate from consciousness. Consciousness doesn't emanate from forms, like the Western world tends to believe. Consciousness emanates from forms, but in terms of insight, forms emanate from consciousness. So consciousness is apparent here and now, and the forms are very changeable, like the sun is out and we're having this Q&A and it's like this, but are we going to sustain it for a lifetime, or it's just something you do in time? And time is all about forms. All forms have beginning and endings, so they have no kind of sustainability. All ideals have a beginning and ending, like the political problems of modern countries today, talking about democracy or socialism or dictatorship, and these are created forms in thought, but they are impermanent. So the political structures change according to conditions. Religions change. Now on YouTube you get a lot of videos of Buddhism, profound Buddhist teachings, just on an iPad. And that, like 50 years ago, that was not possible. Is that good or bad, or do you make it tougher and deny everything, like IT, or to take everybody's iPhone away from them? That would be tyranny, wouldn't it? Because I think they're dangerous, but what's dangerous is believing that I am a permanent separate person, that I am this body, that I am this, what I believe. I am what I believe. That's dangerous. like dictatorships are based on I am right, know how to solve all problems, I'm right, and I want to be all powerful. These are words, empty phenomenal words that we believe in. So believing is taking on thoughts, memories, ideas, what you've been told is right, without understanding your true nature as pure conscious awareness. And that's what the Buddha was pointing at, looking at pure conscious, like the Four Noble Truths. That's just a very profound teaching, pointing to Nirodha, the third noble truth, which is the end of suffering. So when you take the Bhutto position, the witnessing position, you don't suffer. I suffer if I start grasping ideas or concepts that I have that come into consciousness that emanate from my mind. That I grasp them, then I let go of them, or as you develop the path with right understanding or perfect understanding, then you just don't do that anymore. You're relaxed, abiding in your natural home, your true home, which is consciousness apparent here and now.
Picking up on that specific point, Luang Por. I mean, you often talk about relaxing and trusting. Like a number of retreats I've been on with you is something you emphasize it again and again, right from the beginning of the retreat throughout, is this notion of meditation is relaxing. And we've all heard you hammer away at the point of trusting awareness. It seems so, as someone said recently, it seems so incredibly simple that it's difficult.
Well, what's difficult is the conditioning. Because you get conditioned when you're born, when you're growing up. And so, when you're innocent, you don't know anything. You don't remember anything. So you take what you get, what your mother and father tell you, what your religion tells you, what your nationality tells you. And so and that affects us for a lifetime, because you get it's a standard given to you when you have no other memories. So some of it's very good, like parents were devout Christians, so that was very, I had very kind of moral emphasis on morality and about sin and all the Christian beliefs were given to me by my mother and father, by the priest. Not that they were bad, they were quite good, but then as a Buddhist monk, as I grew older, I began to question all that. And so and then you start looking, then you're told it's a sin to doubt. You have to believe in God, and it's a sin to doubt, and that's what I was told. But I also have a kind of curiosity about life. And even though I doubted Christianity, I remember telling my sister I was no longer a Christian, and she went into hysterics. You know, she actually got very emotionally upset. And I remember standing there looking at her, crying and being highly hurt by that. And I thought, I think I trust God more than she does. I think I'm not going to deny anything. I'm just going to find out for myself whether all this I've been told is true or not. I never told my sister that. But then when I encountered Buddhism through Alan Watts' book, The Way of Zen, and through haiku poetry, Japanese Zen poetry, something in that resonated. You know, it spoke to me in a way of a way that Christianity didn't, or very doctrinal religious teachings didn't. It wasn't telling me to believe in anything. You know, it wasn't saying that if I doubt Buddha, I'm going to hell. So it gave me much more a sense of just opening up to life and trying to find out the answers and the questions that get beyond the doubts through wisdom rather than through just fear of sinning and going to hell if I didn't believe. And this is why I really value the Buddhist teaching, because for me, it's actually worked. You know, it hasn't been a waste of a lifetime. It's been the perfection of a lifetime.
Thank you for taking the time, Luang Por. It's much appreciated.